I want to ask you a few questions. Do you ever feel like no matter what, you just can't seem to create a certain result that you want in some area of your life? Do you ever feel like you know what to do, but you just can't get yourself to do it? Do you ever feel like you do everything right, but you keep getting the opposite result of what you want? Like you work really hard, but it's always the other people who get the promotion, or when it comes to relationships, that you always seem to be picking the wrong person, or when it comes to getting ahead financially, you always seem to make the wrong investment. And what about this one? You're doing the right things and you're being successful, but you always feel you have to use all your strength and all your effort and a lot of willpower to do it. Or maybe you just feel stuck, like there's something you want to create, but you just can't seem to make it happen. You're just not able to manifest the results that you want. Well, if any of this describes you, you're in the right place. Because today I'm going to talk to you about a simple but powerful technique that can help you truly break free from what it is that's holding you back. In my more than 50 years of teaching the success principles and helping millions of people achieve their goals, I've found two major things that stop people from accomplishing their goals and manifesting the life of their dreams. The first is fear, and the second are their unconscious limiting beliefs. Powerful limiting beliefs that are below their threshold of awareness. Mostly they're the result of decisions that were made when they were somewhere between the ages of 3 and 8 years old, and sometimes later. But these decisions have been forgotten, but they still live on in the subconscious mind, still running our lives. Now, I've often used the metaphor of imagining you're sitting on an airplane at the gate, waiting for the pilot to arrive, and then you see the pilot enter the plane, and you realize the pilot is just 6 years old, walks into the cockpit. How would you feel knowing that the pilot was only 6 years old? Would you be willing to entrust your life to a 6-year-old pilot? Most likely not. And yet most of us are living with a 6 or an 8-year-old piloting our life. Now, many years ago, I began utilizing a powerful process to help people identify and release those unconscious limiting beliefs. And several years ago, I began working with Dr. Lise Janelle, who has developed an even more sophisticated and powerful version of this method, which she has named the Heart Freedom Method. In fact, we're currently finishing the writing of a book together about it. And what I wanted to do today is tell you the theory behind the method, and then invite you to a free 90-minute webinar where I will guide you and all the other participants who choose to participate through that method. Now, last year I started offering this on Zoom several times during the year as a way to contribute to my community of followers. And the last time we did this, several thousand people from more than 20 countries participated in it. And based on an evaluation we sent out, 95% of those who participated reported having a major breakthrough from the process. So let me tell you a little more about how it works, and then I'll tell you how you can register for this free transformational experience. Now, as I said, all of us have had experiences when we were younger that were painful or difficult. Now, they could have been as simple as dealing with the birth of a younger brother or sister and no longer being the only one that was getting your parents' undivided attention, or failing to get a good grade in school, or not being picked for the team, or having the person you're in love with in high school break up with you. Or they could be even more intense emotional experiences like being bullied at school, or experiencing physical or sexual abuse, or the death of a close family member or your best friend. Or maybe your parents getting a divorce, or having a physical or mental disability, or being in a serious accident. And when you experience this emotionally intense or traumatic event, you made a decision, a self-limiting decision about yourself, your relationship to others, or about life in general. And you might have decided that you're not lovable, you're not smart or talented or attractive. You might have decided that it's not safe to ask for what you want, or that other people's needs are more important than your needs. Or maybe you decided that it hurts other people you care about when you win, or that no matter what you do or how hard you work, you can't win. Or maybe you decided that it's not okay to make a lot of noise, or to laugh, or to want to have fun, or that wanting money meant that you're not spiritual. And the problem is that you then forgot that you made this decision. It's just become part of your unconscious paradigm of the way things are and how life works. And then as an adult, you're still being run by these decisions, but you don't know it. And these limiting beliefs are below the threshold of your awareness, but they're still subtly controlling your decisions and your behavior, stopping you from doing the things that would get you the achievements and the fulfillment that you want. Now, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I asked Kelly, a participant in one of my trainings, to write up her experience of this process. And here's some of what she wrote. She wrote, "Ever since I can remember, I've had an aversion to writing. It really didn't make logical sense that I couldn't write. It was almost like a phobia. I was 50 years old and I still could not force myself to sit down and journal or write anything without angst and frustration. So growing up, I decided to take the academic path of mathematics and computer programming. I reasoned that these subjects focus more on numbers and syntax versus writing. I would even scour the courses in the college and ask other students their opinions to ensure that the classes I intended to take did not have a paper or writing involved. And believe it or not, I successfully avoided any writing. Now, during the identifying and releasing limiting beliefs exercise, all of a sudden, I found myself in kindergarten and we're learning how to write our names. And the teacher's walking up to me and telling me that I'm not doing it right. I was writing Kelly, which is my nickname, but Kathleen is my birth name. Now, I know that it's my birth name, but nobody ever calls me Kathleen. The teacher insisted that I write my birth name. And then my best friend comes to my rescue and she says, I know her name is Kelly. Her name isn't Kathleen. But inside I knew that Kathleen was my real name. Now the problem was, I had spent all my time practicing writing my nickname Kelly because that is all I'd ever been called. And I had never practiced writing Kathleen. And in that moment, I was really discouraged. And in that moment, I decided, I don't know how to write. I was amazed at the clarity of the incident and how much I felt the disappointment and discouragement of my kindergarten self. And I could feel how sad and wrong I felt since the teacher didn't like my work. Now, Kelly went on to share how this unconscious limiting belief had affected her all through her life. And then again, she writes, I remembered still being behind in my writing skills in high school. In the 11th grade, I dreaded going to school every day because of British literature class. I consistently got C's on my papers for British literature, the only class in which I ever received a letter grade lower than an A. And looking back, she says, I now realize it was the teacher's subjective opinion of my analysis of the literature that was coming into play, not how well I wrote each assignment. As story after story popped up, I realized that this belief of I can't write had truly been limiting me all through my life. And Kelly ends up saying, fast forward to today, while I've not published my first book yet, I've started to blog, to journal, and to express myself. I don't feel the angst and frustration I once did as I stare at a piece of paper or a computer monitor screen. I feel a sense of relief to express who I really am and what is really important to me, knowing that someone else might benefit from my experiences in life. I now find it fun to know that I can write. Now, there are other parts of the exercise where you'll be releasing the limiting belief, replacing it with a new one that I won't go into now, but the process is one where you can end up just as Kelly did, free from that limiting belief, free to be all of who you are. You know, I have yet to work with someone in any of my trainings or coaching programs who has not had several such limiting beliefs like this that they were unaware of and that were stopping them from being all they could be. And the problem for so many people is that they'll never realize their full potential until they become aware of their limiting beliefs and use what Lisa and I call the heart freedom method to release and replace them with a more life-affirming and empowering belief, one that validates their innate worthiness, value, talents, intelligence, and ability to create whatever they want. So as I said at the beginning of this video, I'm inviting you to come and participate in this potentially life-changing experience with me. And if you would like to participate, look for the details of how to register in the comments below. And my team will put the details there with a link to sign up. And if for any reason you don't see that, just go to JackCanfieldOfficial.com, get on our mailing list, because we'll be sending out an invitation that way as well. And if for any reason you can't make that live call because of a previous engagement or a time zone consideration, we will record the webinar and we'll leave it up for a while so that you can listen to it when you're available. So thanks for listening, and I hope you'll join me for the webinar. And if you missed the next one, I do offer this free webinar several times a year as a free service to the community. So again, to just be safe, go to JackCanfield.com and you'll get notified about when I'm doing it the next time. Now, if you found this discussion of limiting beliefs helpful, please make sure you like it, share it with a friend who may need it, may want to join us for the webinar as well, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. And for additional success strategies and resources on breaking through the blocks that might be holding you back, make sure to visit JackCanfield.com and check out the links in the description below. And let me know what you think in the comments. And thanks again for watching.